The starship Horizon glided silently through the glittering black of space. Inside, the hum of engines mixed with the quiet chatter of the human engineering team. Among them, Leo adjusted his toolkit, checking each instrument with careful precision. He was young but skilled, known for his ability to understand alien technology. Today, they were heading to Zorath Prime, a planet that humans had only seen through sensors and holographic maps. Now they would step onto its surface. Zorath Prime was unlike any place humans had visited. Its skies shimmered with green and purple hues, and crystal towers rose from the ground like frozen lightning. Rivers of luminous liquid weaved between the cities, casting reflections that danced across the metallic streets. The humans' landing shuttle moved slowly toward a platform where alien beings waited. These beings were tall and graceful, their skin a deep blue that shimmered under the planet's twin suns. At the head of the welcoming party was Queen Ziara, the ruler of Zorath Prime. Her presence was commanding. She wore ceremonial armor that gleamed like liquid metal. It was covered in intricate patterns that seemed to shift as she moved. The humans had been warned. The armor was sacred, and touching it without permission was a grave offense. Leo felt a shiver of awe as he looked at it. The shuttle doors opened and the humans stepped out. Leo adjusted his helmet, taking in the alien city around him. Everything was larger and more complex than their map suggested. Aliens moved with fluid motions, their voices a melodic hum as they communicated. Humans had learned to respect their ways, but the sheer difference in culture was almost overwhelming. Queen Ziara approached the landing platform, her movements slow and deliberate. "Welcome, humans," she said in a voice that carried easily despite the distance. "We have heard much of your people. Let us see if you understand the ways of Zorath Prime." Leo felt a mixture of pride and nervousness. He stepped forward with the other engineers, bowing slightly in respect. He had studied alien customs carefully, but he knew that one wrong move could offend the Queen. The Queen gestured, and the humans followed her into the heart of the Crystal City. They passed towering buildings with surfaces that reflected every color of the sky. Drones floated silently above, scanning and recording the visitors. Leo's eyes were drawn to the energy conduits that ran along the streets. They glowed softly, pulsing with power that humans had not yet fully understood. "This city is powered by energy crystals," one of the aliens explained in a soft voice. "They store and transmit energy in ways you have not yet mastered. Respect is required in all interactions with them." Leo nodded, fascinated. He had seen energy crystals before, but never in such scale or complexity. He made a mental note to study them later, after ensuring he did not break any rules. The Queen led them into a grand hall where her ceremonial armor was displayed on a pedestal. It was beautiful and intimidating. Patterns of glowing lines ran across its surface, and Leo could see tiny mechanisms that suggested energy manipulation, far beyond human technology. He moved closer, careful not to step too near. His curiosity was overwhelming. "Remember," the Queen said, her gaze sharp, "the armor is sacred. Do not touch it without permission. To do so is to challenge the honor of Zorath Prime." Leo swallowed, nodding. His hands itched with the desire to examine the armor. He wanted to understand the energy patterns, the way the lines seemed to flow like liquid, the mechanisms that could make the armor both protective and powerful. The humans were led to a chamber nearby where they could rest and prepare for the work ahead. Their mission was to help repair parts of the city's energy grid, which had been damaged in a recent storm. Leo and his team unpacked their tools, discussing what they had seen. "The armor," Leo said quietly. "It's unlike anything I have seen. The energy patterns alone are fascinating. If we could understand it, maybe we could help with the energy grid." Another engineer shook his head. "Leo, don't even think about touching it. That's the Queen's rule. One mistake and we could be sent back, or worse." Leo nodded, but his curiosity remained. He spent the evening studying diagrams and making notes about alien energy flow. He imagined how the armor worked, how the energy crystals powered the city, and how humans could assist without causing offense. The next morning, the humans were escorted back to the Grand Hall. Queen Ziara had called a meeting to explain the specific tasks for their mission. The room was filled with light as it passed through the crystal walls. Aliens of various ranks stood quietly observing the humans. Leo felt the weight of their eyes, sensing the expectation and scrutiny. "The energy conduits of this city are delicate," the Queen said. "Your task is to repair and enhance them. Humans are known for ingenuity, but you must combine it with respect. Understand what you touch, but always seek permission. Leo nodded, his mind racing with ideas. He wanted to explore, to learn, to help. But he also remembered the Queen's warning. Curiosity was a gift, but it could also bring trouble. As the meeting ended, the humans were shown to the energy grid areas. Leo walked carefully, observing the glowing conduits, the way the energy pulsed through the city, and how it connected to the Queen's armor display. Something about the armor's energy lines reminded him of the conduits. He wondered if studying it could help their work. He stood for a long moment, staring at the armor. The glowing patterns fascinated him. Without thinking, he reached out his hand to feel the energy. The moment his fingers touched the surface, he felt a pulse of energy run through him. It was strong but controlled, and he immediately withdrew his hand. Across the room, the Queen's eyes widened. She spoke, her voice echoing, "Who touched my armor?" The humans froze. Leo's heart raced. He had known this risk, but his curiosity had overcome caution. He stepped back, unsure if he should confess. The alien guards began moving closer, scanning the room. Leo's mind worked quickly. He had to decide whether to stay silent and risk the Queen's anger, or reveal himself and face the consequences. He could see the trust of his team resting on his choices. Honesty was a human strength, he reminded himself, and maybe that strength could save them. The Queen's gaze swept the room, sharp and commanding. "Do not hide," she said. "Truth is valued even if it comes with consequences. Let the one who touched the armor step forward." Leo's palms were sweaty. He knew that coming forward would be risky, but hiding would be worse. Slowly, he raised his hand. "I did," he said, his voice steady despite his fear. "I am Leo, a human engineer. I touched the armor to study the energy. I meant no disrespect." The room fell silent. The aliens exchanged glances. The Queen regarded him with an unreadable expression. Leo's heart pounded. He had revealed himself, and now he could only wait to see if the human's fate would be mercy or punishment. The Queen moved closer, her steps measured. She studied Leo's eyes, searching for dishonesty, for fear, for disrespect. Leo held her gaze, hoping she could see his intent was curiosity and respect, not recklessness. Finally, the Queen spoke. "Humans are strange," she said softly. "You have courage to admit your actions. You have curiosity to seek understanding. You have honesty to face the consequences. These are traits we value even if you err." Leo felt relief mixed with awe. The Queen's words were not just acceptance. They were a recognition of human character. He had stepped into the unknown, and his integrity had been tested. She raised her hand, and the guards paused. "Let this be a lesson," she said. "Curiosity is honored, but it must be guided by respect. Humans may stay and work on our energy grid, but learn our ways carefully. Missteps are forgiven when met with honesty and skill." Leo bowed deeply, grateful for the chance. The tension in the room eased. The humans could continue their mission, but the lesson was clear. Respect and courage must accompany every action on Zorath Prime. As the humans left the hall, Leo glanced back at the armor. Its patterns glowed softly, almost as if acknowledging his presence. He smiled to himself, realizing that understanding and cooperation would require both human ingenuity and humility. The first day on Zorath Prime ended with hope and determination. Leo and his team would face challenges, but they had already proven one thing. Humans could combine curiosity with courage and honesty, even in a world that seemed alien and impossible. The sunlight on Zorath Prime reflected off the crystal towers, casting colorful patterns across the streets. Humans moved carefully through the city, still awed by its size and beauty. Leo walked alongside his team, carrying his toolkit and notes. Even after the first day, his mind was filled with questions. The Queen's armor, with its glowing lines and intricate design, kept appearing in his thoughts. He knew he had to understand more, but he also remembered the warning: respect first, curiosity second. The humans were led to a chamber where the city's energy grid could be accessed. Aliens with long limbs and graceful movements worked alongside crystal devices, adjusting energy flows and monitoring patterns. The room pulsed with soft light, and Leo felt the hum of energy through the floor. He knelt near a conduit, inspecting its flow. His fingers brushed lightly against a control panel, and he could sense the rhythm of energy moving through the city. "Be careful," said Mara, another human engineer. Every action here can affect the entire grid. One mistake and the city could go dark. Leo nodded, aware of the stakes. He was also aware of another risk. The Queen had not forgotten his touch of her armor. He felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Curiosity pushed him forward, but caution held him back. Suddenly, a sharp voice echoed through the chamber. Leo stepped forward. He froze. The voice was not alien. It was the Queen's, calm yet firm. A group of alien guards entered, their eyes scanning the humans. Leo's heart raced. The Queen's attention had returned to him, and he realized that his actions might lead to a serious test. "Humans are curious, yes," said Queen Ziara, "but curiosity must be tempered by understanding. You touched what is sacred. Now you must show more than skill. You must show insight," Leo swallowed. Insight was not just about engineering. It was about understanding the values and expectations of a species unlike his own. He had studied Zorath Prime, its culture and technology, but theory was not the same as practice. "You will be given a challenge," the Queen continued. "If you succeed, humans will be allowed to continue their work and gain our trust. If you fail, you will face the consequences of your actions. Do you accept?" Leo glanced at his team. They nodded, showing confidence in his abilities. He took a deep breath. "I accept," he said. The Queen raised her hand and a holographic display appeared in the center of the room. Lines of glowing energy flowed across the projection, forming patterns similar to those on her armor. The display shifted, showing different configurations and energy nodes. "This is a portion of the city's energy network," she explained. "It has been unstable due to recent storms. Your task is to identify weaknesses and propose improvements. You may use your knowledge, but you must respect the design principles of our technology. Understand it, do not destroy it." Leo examined the hologram. The energy lines were complex, flowing in multiple layers and dimensions. Some sections pulsed with instability, flickering like tiny lightning storms. He could see that small adjustments in one area could create cascading effects elsewhere. The challenge was clear. He had to understand alien energy systems quickly and demonstrate his skill without causing harm. He knelt before the display, his fingers moving over the holographic interface. The Queen and her council watched silently, observing every gesture. Leo's mind raced, calculating how energy flowed, where it was unstable, and what small modifications could improve stability. Hours passed. Leo worked carefully, testing different solutions and simulations. Every adjustment was precise. He made notes, observing patterns and predicting outcomes. His team assisted, providing support and checking calculations. The Queen's gaze followed every move, her expression unreadable. Finally, Leo stepped back and presented his findings. "The instability is caused by misalignment in the energy nodes," he explained. "If we adjust the conduits here and here," he pointed to areas on the hologram, "we can balance the flow. This will increase efficiency without altering the original design. The energy will be more stable and the network will function safely." The Queen's eyes narrowed. She gestured and the simulation ran the adjustments. The hologram pulsed, then stabilized. Lines of energy flowed smoothly through every node. The room was quiet, filled only with the soft hum of the simulation. "You understand more than skill," said the Queen. "You understand our values. You respect what is sacred while improving what is necessary. Few humans could do this." Leo felt a surge of relief and pride. His careful approach, combining curiosity with respect, had been recognized. But the challenge was not over. The Queen's voice carried a new tone. "Now you must demonstrate understanding in practice. One of our ceremonial armors has an energy conduit that can be optimized without changing its sacred form. You may attempt this under supervision. Success will show that humans can apply insight in action. Failure will show the cost of haste." Leo's heart raced. The armor. He had dreamed of understanding it, but the stakes were higher now. This was not just study. It was action under the eyes of a species far more advanced. He nodded, steeling himself. The humans were led back to the grand hall. The ceremonial armor stood on its pedestal, gleaming with energy. Guards flanked the display, their movements precise and alert. Leo approached slowly, aware that every step was observed. He extended his hand carefully, fingers hovering above the armor. Queen Ziara watched him, her expression calm but commanding. "Touch with understanding, not curiosity. Respect is the first principle. Insight is the second," Leo nodded. He placed his hand lightly on the surface. Energy pulsed through the armor, strong and controlled. He felt its flow mapping the lines in his mind. He adjusted small conduits and observed how the energy reacted. Every movement was cautious, deliberate. The Queen's guards leaned closer, scanning for any misstep. Leo's team watched, holding their breath. For a moment, it seemed the energy lines might flicker dangerously, but Leo remained steady, guiding the flow with careful precision. After what felt like hours, he stepped back. The armor's energy lines glowed steadily, stronger and smoother than before. The Queen examined it closely, touching the surface herself. She smiled, a rare expression for her. "You have done more than improve the energy," she said. "You have shown respect, patience, and understanding. Humans may possess courage, but insight is rarer. You have it in abundance." Leo felt relief and pride. The challenge had tested him in ways he had never imagined. Curiosity alone would not have been enough. He had combined intelligence, skill, and respect to succeed. The Queen gestured to the humans. "Let this be a lesson to all. Understanding and respect are the foundation of progress. Humans may continue their work. Your ingenuity is welcomed, provided it is guided by humility." The humans cheered quietly, grateful for the Queen's approval. Leo allowed himself a small smile. He had faced the trial and his actions had earned trust. Yet he knew the work was only beginning. Zorath Prime was vast, its energy systems complex, and the Queen's expectations were high. That evening, Leo and his team gathered in their quarters. They discussed the day, sharing observations and ideas. Leo's mind, however, was still partially on the armor. He realized that humans could bring value not by replacing alien knowledge, but by combining it with their own perspective. Curiosity, tempered by respect and guided by skill, could lead to achievements that neither species could accomplish alone. Mara noticed his thoughtful expression. "You did well today," she said. The Queen was impressed. "You could have failed, but you didn't. You stayed calm and used your mind." Leo nodded. "It wasn't just me," he said. "Our whole team helped. But I also learned something important. We can be brave and we can be curious, but we must always respect what we do not yet understand." That is what the Queen values. The next morning, the humans returned to the energy grid. They had received clearance to continue work, but Leo sensed that more challenges awaited. Queen Ziara's test had been only the beginning. She respected skill and honesty, but she also expected initiative and ingenuity. Leo looked at the city from a high terrace, sunlight reflecting off the crystal towers. The world was alien, beautiful, and full of unknowns. Humans were far from home, but they had earned a place here. He knew that their actions could strengthen the bond between species. The Queen's voice echoed in his mind, a reminder of the trial. Curiosity without respect leads to ruin. Courage without insight leads to failure. Humans have shown both today. Let them show more tomorrow. Leo clenched his fist lightly, determination filling him. The adventure had only begun. Zorath Prime held mysteries that would test human skill, ingenuity, and character. He was ready to face them, guided by the lessons of honesty, respect, and thoughtful courage. The humans stepped forward, ready to engage with the alien technology, ready to prove that they could contribute meaningfully. Leo felt the pulse of energy through the city, through the armor, and through himself. It was a rhythm of understanding, a rhythm that connected humans and aliens in a fragile but promising alliance. The morning sun rose over Zorath Prime, sending beams of light through the crystal towers. The city glimmered like a field of diamonds, and the hum of energy filled the air. Humans walked carefully through the streets, their minds focused on the work ahead. For Leo, today was the moment to show not just skill, but the ingenuity that defined humanity. The Queen had given a challenge the previous day: optimize one of her ceremonial armors without damaging its sacred design. Leo had succeeded in stabilizing the energy flow, but the Queen's eyes had hinted at a greater test. It was clear she valued intelligence, honesty, and respect, but she also sought creativity. Leo knew the next step would require more than precision. It would require human ingenuity. The humans were escorted to a workshop adjacent to the Grand Hall. Alien engineers moved with fluid motions, preparing materials and tools. The walls were lined with energy crystals, humming softly as they powered devices that humans had never seen before. Leo's eyes widened as he surveyed the workshop. Every object radiated energy in a way that seemed alive yet balanced. "You may begin," said the Queen's voice. She stood beside the armor display, her gaze fixed on Leo. Show us what humans can create when insight and respect are combined with ingenuity. Remember, the armor must remain sacred in form, but you may enhance its function. Leo approached the armor, studying its design carefully. The glowing lines traced a network of energy channels, connected to tiny mechanisms that adjusted force and flexibility. He noticed patterns similar to the city's energy conduits, but more compact and intricate. His mind began to work, comparing what he had learned from the city's grid to the armor's energy system. He began by analyzing the flow. The energy in the armor moved efficiently, but there were small areas where power was lost in subtle vibrations. These were invisible to the eye but could be detected with careful measurement. Leo used a handheld scanner to map the energy, translating alien data into a form he could understand. His team assisted, making notes and running simulations. "Leo," said Mara, "the armor is sacred. Be careful. Even small mistakes could offend the Queen." "I know," Leo replied. "I need to find a solution that respects the design and improves performance. It must be subtle, elegant, and functional." Hours passed. Leo adjusted the energy channels, rerouting small flows to reduce vibration and improve efficiency. He designed a mechanism that allowed the armor to store excess energy and release it when needed, enhancing protection without changing the armor's appearance. Every adjustment was calculated, tested in simulation, and applied cautiously. The Queen watched silently, moving only when necessary. Her expression was calm, but Leo sensed her scrutiny. Alien technology was not forgiving, and failure could bring serious consequences. Yet he felt a surge of determination. Humans were known for problem-solving and adaptability, and he intended to prove that these traits were valuable even in alien society. Finally, Leo stepped back. He activated the armor's systems, and energy flowed through the lines. The armor glowed softly, its energy channels balanced perfectly. The subtle enhancements he had made were invisible to casual observation, but they increased efficiency and responsiveness. The armor now absorbed energy more smoothly and redirected power without losing form or beauty. Queen Ziara stepped forward, her hand hovering above the armor. She felt the flow, her fingers tracing the intricate lines. A faint smile touched her lips. "You have done well," she said. "Your work is precise, respectful, and inventive. You have improved what was already perfect without altering its sacred nature. This is rare." Leo exhaled, relieved. He had feared that the Queen's test would be impossible, but his approach, combining respect with insight and creativity, had succeeded. The humans around him looked impressed, grateful that their colleague had met the challenge. The Queen continued, her voice calm but commanding. "Humans show courage and honesty. Today you have shown ingenuity. This is a rare combination. It is the reason you may remain here and work alongside us. But your work is not complete. There are more systems to understand, more opportunities to demonstrate that humans are capable of contributing to Zorath Prime in ways that even our people may not imagine." Leo felt a spark of pride. Humans were often underestimated by other species, but here, in the heart of an alien civilization, his actions had proven their worth. Yet he also knew that trust was fragile. He had to continue acting with integrity and creativity to maintain the confidence of the Queen and her people. The humans were given access to more of the city's energy grid. Leo led his team, moving carefully through the corridors filled with glowing conduits and floating energy nodes. The system was vast, interconnected, and delicate. A single misstep could destabilize entire sections of the city. "This is incredible," said Mara, examining the conduits. "The energy flows like a living organism. Every node affects the others." "It's more complex than anything we have on Earth." Leo nodded, studying the patterns. "We need to approach this step by step. If we apply what we learned from the armor, we can stabilize the weaker nodes and improve overall efficiency, without disturbing the system." As they worked, Leo noticed subtle inefficiencies in a section of the grid that had caused minor disruptions. He suggested rerouting small energy flows, using his knowledge of human engineering principles to optimize the system. His ideas were cautious, creative, and respectful of the alien technology. The alien engineers observed closely, their expressions neutral but attentive. Leo explained each adjustment, translating human logic into terms the aliens could understand. They tested his proposals, and slowly, the energy flows became smoother, more balanced and more responsive. Queen Ziara arrived to inspect the progress. She moved silently through the corridor, her eyes focused on the energy streams. Leo stepped forward, presenting the adjustments. These changes enhance stability and efficiency, he explained. They maintain the original design and respect the principles of your energy systems. The network responds more smoothly and power is conserved. The Queen placed her hand on the nearest conduit, feeling the energy pulse. She turned to Leo, her expression thoughtful. You have applied insight and creativity. Your methods are unorthodox yet effective. Humans often think differently, and your approach has revealed possibilities we had not considered. Leo felt a surge of pride. The Queen's acknowledgement was more than approval. It was recognition of human potential. He realized that ingenuity, tempered by respect and honesty, could bridge the gap between species and cultures. As the day progressed, the humans continued their work. They repaired damaged conduits, optimized energy distribution, and shared knowledge with alien engineers. Leo became a bridge between the two species, translating human ideas into alien understanding and vice versa. At one point, an unexpected issue arose. A section of the energy grid began to flicker, its power fluctuating unpredictably. Alien engineers looked concerned, unsure how to stabilize it. Leo stepped forward, studying the pattern. He noticed that the fluctuations were caused by a misalignment in the energy nodes, similar to a problem he had solved with the armor. Carefully, he suggested a solution, rerouting small energy flows and adjusting node timings. The aliens followed his instructions, and within moments the grid stabilized. The Queen observed from nearby, her expression calm but approving. You anticipate problems and solve them with precision, she said. This is human ingenuity. You are not only skilled, you are inventive. You see possibilities where others see only obstacles. This is why humans may be trusted with our technology. Leo nodded, understanding the weight of her words. Trust was not given lightly on Zorath Prime, and he had earned it through action, creativity, and respect. Yet he knew that greater challenges awaited. The city's energy systems were vast, and the Queen would continue to test their abilities. That evening, the humans gathered in their quarters. They were exhausted but satisfied. Leo reviewed the day's work, noting improvements and lessons learned. He realized that human ingenuity was not just about solving problems. It was about combining knowledge, creativity, and respect to achieve results that benefited everyone. Mara approached him. Leo, the Queen's reaction was incredible. She rarely smiles. Today she recognized humans as equals in insight and skill. Leo smiled. It's not just about skill. It's about understanding. We have to respect their ways, learn from them, and then add our perspective. That's how humans contribute. That's how we earn trust. The next morning, the Queen summoned the humans to the Grand Hall. She spoke to the group, her voice carrying authority and respect. Humans have shown courage, honesty, and ingenuity. You may continue your work, but remember this. Progress requires respect for what is sacred, creativity in action, and integrity in all decisions. Humans have demonstrated these qualities. Let them continue as partners, not just visitors. Leo felt a sense of purpose. The Queen's words were more than praise. They were a challenge. Humans had the potential to contribute in meaningful ways, but they had to remain mindful, innovative, and respectful. The day ended with the humans observing the city from a high terrace. Energy flowed through the towers, rivers, and conduits in perfect harmony. Leo realized that their work was only beginning, but the possibilities were endless. Humans could offer solutions. The city of Zorath Prime glowed under the light of twin suns, its crystal towers reflecting colors that shifted like a living rainbow. The humans walked carefully through the streets, their minds still alive with the work of the day. Leo carried his tools and notes, but his thoughts were centered on the Queen's next decision. Yesterday, his ingenuity had been tested and recognized, but today, he would face the judgment that would determine how much trust the aliens were willing to place in humans. The humans were escorted to the Grand Hall, a vast chamber where the Queen often held her councils. The walls were transparent crystal, giving a view of the city's shimmering streets below. Energy lines ran through the floor and walls, pulsing softly, as if the city itself were alive and watching. The ceremonial armor stood on its pedestal at the center of the hall, glowing with a refined brilliance after Leo's enhancements. Alien guards flanked it, their movements precise and watchful. Queen Ziara entered, her presence commanding immediate silence. She wore her ceremonial robes, her movements fluid and deliberate. She looked at the humans and then at Leo. Her gaze was sharp, assessing every detail, every intention. "Humans," she began, her voice echoing through the hall. "You have shown courage, honesty, and ingenuity. You touched what is sacred, but you faced the consequences. You learned from the experience and you improved our technology without disrespect. Today you will demonstrate not only skill, but understanding of the balance between power and responsibility." Leo nodded, feeling both pride and nervousness. The Queen's words were praise, but they also carried expectation. He had learned that on Zorath Prime, trust was earned through action, not simply through words or promises. The Queen gestured to the ceremonial armor. "This armor is not merely a display of power. It is a symbol of our history, our values, and our unity. Your task is to optimize its energy system further, preparing it for practical use in our protective forces. You may not alter its form or its sacred patterns. You may improve efficiency, control, and responsiveness. Your success will be measured by how well you integrate human ingenuity with our traditions." Leo stepped forward carefully, his mind focused. He studied the armor's energy lines, noting subtle areas where efficiency could still be improved. Each adjustment required careful thought. One wrong move could disrupt the balance and offend the Queen. He activated his handheld scanner, mapping the armor's energy in real time. The Queen and her council observed silently. Their eyes were calm but piercing, as if measuring not only the outcome but also the process. Leo understood that this was a test of character as much as skill. He took a deep breath and began. He worked methodically, rerouting small energy flows, smoothing pulses, and enhancing storage capacity. Each change was subtle, respecting the sacred design while improving function. The Queen's guards leaned closer, their motions careful but alert. The room was filled with a soft hum as energy flowed through the armor, responding to Leo's adjustments. Hours passed, and Leo's concentration never wavered. He checked every connection, simulated different scenarios, and ensured that the armor would function under pressure without losing its sacred balance. His human intuition, combined with knowledge of alien energy principles, guided each decision. Finally, he stepped back. The armor's energy lines glowed steadily, brighter and more responsive than before. The enhancements were invisible to casual observation, but they had strengthened the armor's capabilities. Leo felt a sense of calm determination. He had done everything carefully, thoughtfully, and respectfully. The Queen approached, placing her hand on the armor. Her fingers traced the energy lines, testing responsiveness and stability. She looked at Leo, her expression unreadable. The silence in the hall was almost tangible. "You have done more than improve function," she said slowly. "You have demonstrated understanding. Your adjustments honor the armor's form while enhancing its power. This requires not only skill, but insight, courage, and respect. Humans often act impulsively, but you have shown restraint and foresight." Leo exhaled quietly, a mixture of relief and pride filling him. The Queen continued, turning to her council. "These humans are not merely visitors. They possess creativity, ingenuity, and integrity. They have the potential to work alongside us as equals in innovation and problem-solving. Let this be recognized," the council murmured softly, nodding in agreement. Alien engineers who had observed Leo's work stepped forward, acknowledging the precision and effectiveness of his solutions. Leo felt a wave of respect from the aliens, not just for his skill, but for the way he had approached the challenge. The Queen's gaze returned to him. "Your actions have earned the trust of Zorath Prime, but trust is a living thing. It must be nurtured through continued effort, respect, and collaboration. Humans have shown they can contribute, but you must continue to demonstrate integrity and ingenuity. Only then will our alliance be complete." Leo nodded solemnly. "I understand, Your Majesty. We will do our best to honor your trust and continue learning from your people." She gestured, and the ceremonial armor's energy lines pulsed in acknowledgement. "Your willingness to learn, to respect, and to improve is a rare quality. It is why humans may remain here, contributing to the greater good of our society. Let this lesson guide all future interactions. Intelligence without respect is worthless, courage without understanding is dangerous, and skill without humility is incomplete." Leo absorbed her words. He realized that the Queen's judgment was more than approval, it was guidance. Humans could offer unique perspectives and solutions, but they must combine ingenuity with cultural awareness and ethical responsibility. This balance was essential for meaningful collaboration. The Queen turned to the human engineers as a group. You have proven yourselves individually and collectively. Your work has strengthened our energy network and improved one of our most sacred artifacts. Continue in this spirit, and you will find that humans can achieve much more than even your people believe possible. The humans bowed respectfully, feeling the weight and honor of her words. Leo's heart swelled with pride, but he remained humble. He knew that this recognition was a beginning, not an end point. The Queen's judgment had opened doors, but the responsibility to maintain trust and demonstrate capability would continue. As the humans left the Grand Hall, the city seemed to pulse with energy in new ways. The armor's enhancements had stabilized its flow, and the grid adjustments Leo had proposed were beginning to harmonize with the larger network. Humans had proven their worth not through brute strength or rapid action, but through careful thought, insight, and respect. That evening, Leo and his team gathered to discuss the day. They reviewed the Queen's comments, their observations, and the lessons learned from the trials. Each engineer reflected on how human ingenuity had been recognized, not simply for technical skill, but for thoughtful application, for understanding the balance between innovation and tradition. Leo, Mara said, the Queen's approval is more than praise. It's an invitation. She's showing that humans can be trusted to think, to create, and to collaborate at the highest level. Leo nodded. Exactly. It's not just about fixing problems. It's about understanding, anticipating, and improving while respecting what is sacred. That's what earns trust here. That's what humans can offer. As night fell over Zorath Prime, the city's towers glowed softly, reflecting the calm determination of its new human allies. Leo walked to a balcony, looking over the glowing streets and the energy lines that connected every part of the city. He felt a connection, not just to the technology but to the people and the culture. Humans were far from home, yet they had already begun to leave their mark in ways that were valued and respected. The Queen's judgment had been clear. Humans could contribute, but only through integrity, creativity, and respect. Leo understood that these principles would guide every action they took from this moment on. He also realized that the journey ahead would test them in ways more complex than energy grids or armor. Trust had been granted, but it must be maintained through continued effort, insight, and courage. And in that quiet moment, Leo made a promise to himself. Humans would not merely participate, they would demonstrate the full potential of their ingenuity, guided by honor, respect, and humility. They would show the aliens of Zorath Prime that humanity could rise to meet the challenges of a world far beyond their own, contributing in ways that no one had imagined. The night deepened, and the city pulsed with a steady rhythm of energy and life. Leo knew that the Queen's judgment was not the end of the journey, but a turning point. Humans had been recognized for their potential, but the future would demand even greater courage, intelligence, and insight. He was ready to face those challenges, confident that human ingenuity, tempered by respect, could accomplish extraordinary things on Zorath Prime. The stars above the twin suns shone brightly, and Leo felt the weight of responsibility and possibility. Humans had proven themselves worthy of trust, but now it was time to prove themselves capable of greatness. The city, the armor, and the Queen's watchful eyes were all reminders that on Zorath Prime, humans could achieve remarkable feats, but only if they combined intelligence, creativity, and integrity in every step of their journey. The twin suns rose over Zorath Prime, bathing the crystal towers in golden light. The city was alive with energy and movement, but today there was a special sense of anticipation. Humans had proven their courage, ingenuity, and respect through their work on the city's energy grid and the ceremonial armor. Now they were about to take a step that would solidify their place on the planet. A formal ceremony of alliance with Queen Ziara herself. Leo walked beside Mara and the other human engineers, carrying the tools and notes they had used during their work. His mind was alert, not with anxiety but with purpose. The Queen's judgment had shown that humans could earn trust, but today was about demonstrating how humanity could contribute to Zorath Prime in a lasting and meaningful way. The humans were escorted through the city's streets to the Grand Plaza, where citizens and alien dignitaries had gathered. The plaza was immense, paved with crystal tiles that shimmered under the sunlight. Energy lines ran through the tiles, linking them to towers, statues, and flowing fountains. The ceremonial armor stood on a raised pedestal, glowing with the enhancements Leo had made. Alien guards flanked it, their movements precise, while citizens observed quietly, their blue skin glinting under the sun. Queen Ziara descended from her elevated platform, her movements graceful and commanding. She wore ceremonial robes and a crown that reflected the light of the twin suns. Her gaze swept across the plaza, resting on the humans. "Today," she began, her voice strong and clear, "we acknowledge the courage, ingenuity, and respect shown by these humans. They have touched what is sacred, faced the consequences, and improved upon it with skill and understanding. They have worked alongside our engineers to stabilize and enhance our energy systems. Their contributions have been significant and meaningful." Leo stepped forward, bowing respectfully. "Your Majesty," he said, "we are honored to serve and learn from your people. Our goal is to help, to understand, and to combine our knowledge with yours. We will continue to act with respect, courage, and honesty." The Queen's eyes softened slightly. Humans have proven that they can rise to the challenges of Zorath Prime. They have shown that even a species unfamiliar with our ways can contribute positively when guided by integrity, intelligence, and humility. Today, they will be formally recognized as trusted allies and partners in the advancement of our society. A group of alien engineers stepped forward to present symbols of trust. These were crystalline keys, small but intricately designed, representing access to advanced archives of technology and knowledge. Each human received a key. Leo held his carefully, marveling at the patterns etched into the crystal. These keys were not just tools. They were a statement of confidence, acknowledgement, and opportunity. As Leo looked at the Queen, she spoke again. "Let this alliance symbolize what can be achieved when courage, respect, and ingenuity are combined. Humans and Zorathians may be different, but together we can accomplish far more than alone. Let today mark the beginning of a partnership that will strengthen both our peoples and our civilizations." The plaza erupted in applause, not loud but harmonious, a mixture of melodic voices from the aliens and the quiet excitement of humans. Leo felt pride and humility at the same time. Humans had proven themselves not through force or speed, but through careful thought, honesty, and creativity. After the ceremony, the Queen invited the humans to observe the use of the upgraded armor in practice. Soldiers equipped with ceremonial armors moved through the plaza, demonstrating their skills. The enhancements Leo had made allowed the armor to respond more fluidly to energy surges, improving both protection and maneuverability. The aliens noticed subtle differences immediately, acknowledging the improvements with nods and gestures. Leo observed quietly, feeling the weight of his contributions. The armor was more than metal and energy. It was a symbol of trust and responsibility. By improving it without violating its sacred form, he had shown that humans could work alongside Zorathians with understanding, intelligence, and respect. Later, in a private meeting with the Queen, Leo discussed the potential for further collaboration. "Your Majesty," he said, "humans can offer new approaches to energy management, problem-solving, and design. We are eager to continue learning from your people while sharing our knowledge to improve systems for everyone." Queen Ziara regarded him thoughtfully. "You have proven that humans can combine curiosity with respect, creativity with humility. Your presence here has already strengthened our city and our confidence in your people. If you continue in this manner, the alliance between our species will grow stronger with each day." Leo felt a sense of responsibility. Trust was not given lightly, and it had to be maintained. "We will do our best to honor that trust, Your Majesty," he said. "We will continue to act with integrity and focus on collaboration. Together we can achieve more than any of us could alone." The Queen nodded. "That is the expectation, and it is the promise of this alliance. Humans may remain on Zorath Prime, contributing as partners and learners. Let this relationship flourish through cooperation, respect, and ingenuity." The following days were filled with collaborative projects. Humans and alien engineers worked side by side, exchanging knowledge and ideas. Leo's insights were applied to energy networks, transport systems, and defensive measures. Human creativity complemented alien experience, producing solutions neither species could have developed alone. At one point, a sudden surge in the city's energy grid threatened to destabilize a sector of the Crystal Towers. Alien engineers looked concerned, uncertain how to respond quickly enough. Leo assessed the situation and suggested a subtle adjustment to the conduits, rerouting energy to stabilize the surge. His approach worked immediately, and the tower's glow returned to normal. The aliens recognized his skill and composure, acknowledging once again that humans could contribute in critical ways. Queen Ziara observed the response from a balcony above, her expression calm but approving. She later addressed the humans and alien engineers together. Today, humans have demonstrated courage, intelligence, and quick problem-solving in real time. Their contributions prevent potential disaster and highlight the value of partnership. This is the essence of what an alliance should be. Leo felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Humans had begun as outsiders viewed with curiosity and caution. Through skill, honesty, and ingenuity, they had earned trust and respect. The HFY ideal was clear. Humanity could achieve greatness not through dominance but through courage, creativity, and ethical action. In the weeks that followed, Leo continued to work with alien engineers, developing new systems for energy distribution and storage. They explored ways to improve efficiency, reduce waste, and adapt technology for use across the city. Each project deepened trust and reinforced the human-alien partnership. One afternoon, Leo stood beside Queen Ziara as she inspected a newly optimized sector of the city. "Your people have exceeded expectations," she said. "Humans are not only capable of understanding our technology, but of enhancing it thoughtfully and safely." "This is a rare quality," Leo bowed slightly. "We are grateful for your guidance and trust, Your Majesty. We will continue to act responsibly and creatively." The Queen's gaze softened. "Humans have proven that courage, respect, and ingenuity are not merely words but actions. Let this example guide both our peoples in the future. Together we will create a society stronger than either could achieve alone." As the sun set over the city, the light reflecting off crystal towers, Leo looked at his team. They were tired but satisfied. Humans had arrived as outsiders, but now they were allies, partners in progress. The energy of the city flowed harmoniously, strengthened by collaboration and mutual understanding. Leo thought of the first day when he had touched the Queen's armor out of curiosity. That moment had led to lessons in respect, honesty, and ingenuity. The experience had shaped the human's role on Zorath Prime and proved that even small actions, guided by integrity, could have far-reaching impact. The Queen approached him one last time before night fell. "Leo, your people have proven their value. Let this alliance be a foundation for future collaboration. The potential of humans is great, and when guided by respect and creativity, it is limitless. Remember this lesson as you continue your work here." Leo bowed deeply. "We will not forget, Your Majesty. Humanity will honor this trust and continue to contribute in meaningful ways." The ceremony ended with the humans standing alongside alien engineers in the plaza. Citizens of Zorath Prime observed the new alliance, seeing humans as partners, collaborators, and friends. Energy flowed seamlessly through the city, glowing brighter than before, a symbol of unity, trust, and shared purpose. As night fell, the twin suns' light faded, and the city began to glow from within. Leo looked at the horizon, feeling hope and pride. Humans had proven themselves capable, not through force or dominance, but through courage, honesty, and ingenuity. The future on Zorath Prime was bright, and humanity had a place in shaping it. In that moment, Leo understood the full meaning of the journey. Trust had been earned, respect had been given, and ingenuity had been recognized. Humans were no longer mere visitors. They were allies, innovators, and partners in the advancement of a civilization far beyond their home. The HFY ideal had been realized. Humanity could rise,